Toe. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Big Toe. You checking in to the Laboratory Podcast. You already know what it is. And I know y'all see a little bit of different background. Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Episode 17, Greatness Awaits. We calling it Greatness Awaits because greatness awaits me just like greatness awaits y'all. You feel me? But I know you've been waiting on episode 17. Hold on. Switch hands, Otto. Switch your hands, Otto. Hey. I don't know if that's for 15, 16, 17. You feel me, man? Episode 17 is here. I know y'all been waiting on it, you feel me? But we going to get right off into the topics. And the first one we going to talk about is why don't I feel like being bothered? We had these times in life where we just don't feel like being bothered with the bullshit. We don't feel like going back and forth. We to ourselves, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, maybe it's some time that you just want to be to yourself. But a lot of times, even in those times, we subject ourselves to bullshit. We subject ourselves to being around other people. We subject ourselves to things that we don't have to just because we don't want to be labeled as mean or inconsiderate, or we don't want to deal with the backlash of telling somebody no one time because we know they're going to act differently. What I tell you is you neglecting yourselves in them times, in that time where you don't take time for yourself when you know that you really need it. You can't worry about these other people labels and whatever they think that you are because that doesn't have bearing on who you are to yourself. There's a lot of us who are unhappy, but we cater everybody else. We make sure everybody else is straight. We make sure our friends are straight, our family is straight. Everything is good all the time, but think about it. Are we really being them type of people to ourselves? Do we treat ourselves as nicely as we treat other people? I want you to think about that. Do you treat yourself as nicely as you treat other people? If you always talking people up, always helping people with their self-confidence, always helping them with their problems, are you that same way when it comes to your problems? Are you just as diligent when it comes to your stuff? You set a timer to wake up to go help your friend. Will you set a timer to go wake up, to go to the gym, to go do something that you love to do, to put in effort and time into something that you truly love? Are you like that to yourself, or do you treat other people better than you treat yourself? And then when it's times where you feel like you need to recharge the battery, you can't never recharge the battery because you too scared of what they're going to say about you. Because if you tell them no one time, they might not be your friends no more, and then you scared of being lonely. That was a mouthful, but it's a lot layered in there. Because a lot of us, we don't even feel like ourselves because we got to be these other people for our friends or for our family. But who are we being to ourselves? That's why we build up these times of when we don't want to be bothered because we spread ourselves too far thin. Every time somebody calls, we got their back. But do they got your back when you call? Every time somebody needs something, we're everyone's savior or we our own savior. Ask yourself that. That's probably why you don't feel like being bothered, because it's a time in your life where you need to reinvest some of that time into yourself. And instead of knowing how to do it, a lot of us don't. A lot of us are going to look at ourselves as mean because why can't I do for other people? I always do for other people. That's how I find. No, sometimes we use the fact that we're helping other people as a distraction away from our own problems. Sometimes people, oh yeah, I help all of my friends and I'm such a great person to them. But all that does is it's a cop-out because you get to go over there and handle someone else's issues, but you get to come home and ignore yours. So are you really a good person? You might be being a good person to them, but are you a good person to yourself? What does it mean if you great to the rest of the world, but your whole world is falling down and crumbling on the inside? You more in love with social perception or people's perception with you other than your perception of yourself. And that's where you falling short at right now. And that's where I feel like I fall short at sometimes. I'm so bothered when other people say, man, Tori mean or he didn't come through for me this time because I always come through. But after a moment, it builds up, and then I don't feel like being bothered. Then I have to deal with the labels and the name calling and all of that shit. But I've learned in my life that fuck that. Fuck that, because in the times that I need to be there for myself and I need to be present for me, I can't worry about a label. I can't worry about how people feel. I got to worry about what's good for me. And that's what you got to do too. Worry about what's good for you. I want you to answer in the comment section. And I'm probably going to post this as real. Are you as nice to yourself as you are to your friends? Are you as nice to yourself as you are to other people? Are you as nice to yourself as you are to the people who surround you? Because a lot of us, we talk other people up. I talk y'all up on this podcast all the time. But does that mean I'm nice to myself? I just got to a space a year ago where I start being nice to myself. Start saying, damn, Tori, you great. You got something here, bro. You got something going on. Is that really who you are? If you being that for other people, but you're not being that for yourself, We putting our time into the wrong things. Not saying it's wrong to be there for other people, but we can't be our full selves if we not taking that time. Take some time, reinvest into yourself. It's nothing wrong with being bothered or not feeling like being fucked with right now. Just be honest about it. Who gonna like it, and who don't. But long as you feel whole at the end of the day, that's what matters. You feel me? But we gonna get into some stuff. Y'all see I'm in a new environment. I got some better energy. Your boy go grab that legend. Shout out to my boy Monty. You feel me? But next thing we gonna get into is inconsiderate people. Some people are inconsiderate. Some people, when they see you going down, they see you doing great, or they see you going down that rabbit hole of depression right now, they never stop asking for stuff. Some of us have those people in our life, no matter whether we good or bad, they're going to ask for stuff anyway. They don't care about your success as much as they care about their happiness or whatever you do for them that allows them to be better. A lot of people love what you're doing as long as it's beneficial to them. Let me repeat that one more time. A lot of people love what you're doing as long as it's beneficial to them. Soon as it's not beneficial no more, you shouldn't be doing it. Everyone has an opinion about that, but does it really fucking matter at the end of the day? Ask yourself that. Do people just put up with me because what I do is beneficial and it's productive towards their lifestyle, or do they put up with me because they really love me, because they really like me, because they really want to be around me? Or is it just because it's beneficial? Because that's what I see with inconsiderate people. They're around you because it's beneficial. That's why they don't care when you call them in, when they call you and you tell them, oh, I got something to do, and they still asking for stuff. Because they don't care about what's going on in your life. They care about what they got. You feel me? Drink break real quick. They care about what they got going on. And the thing is, you can't expect, going back to the first topic, bridging the gap, you can't expect inconsiderate people to think about your schedule or think about when you're burnt out or think about what's going on with you. You have to set those boundaries and do those things for yourself. And that's why I said, when you feel like not being bothered, feel that way and don't be bothered. Because these people are never going to stop. They're never going to stop with their opinions. They're never going to stop with their judgment. They're never going to stop asking for things. And if you're expecting them to, you're expecting rational things from a rational person. Inconsiderate people aren't going to look out for you. You have to look out for yourself. You the bodyguard to your own peace. Let me say that once again. You're the bodyguard to your own peace. If your peace isn't being protected, it's because of what you're doing. And I know it's hard because we have all these outside influences, but you have to protect your peace because nobody is going to care about it as much as you do. And it's a sad truth about the world because you expect your friends to care. You expect them to love you. You expect them to be the person that you met. You expect this person you called them brother or sister to be that for life. And sometimes it just don't happen that way because life pulls us in two different directions. But sometimes you look back at it and the origin of y'all relationship, you can see that maybe they were getting some that were good for that season, but it wasn't going to be sustainable for the rest of life. And it's cool to let some relationships go. It's all about growth. But what I'll tell you is don't allow inconsiderate people to ruin your own image of yourself. You have the autonomy to say no. They're never going to stop. And you have to know just because you've been around this person forever, does that mean this is the person who's right for you as a friend, who's right for you as an associate, who's right for you as a loved one? They might be inconsiderate, but you got to choose yourself because you can't expect an inconsiderate person to choose you. Because once again, you're expecting an extremely rational thing from an extremely irrational person. Some people, they think more of you than they think of themselves. They think you're so great. Oh, she's great, or he's great, or they're great. They don't think that way about themselves. They'll ask you a million things, but if you ask them anything, they're not going to show up. Or they just know that you have the spirit that you're going to keep doing it, and they know they're going to say no, and they're not going to answer the phone when it's time. Those inconsiderate people, them labels that they put on you, man, fuck them. You got to live for yourself. Don't allow inconsiderate people to change your perception about yourself because you know what's in your heart. You know what's in your heart. You know you're a genuine person. And you know if you're listening to this, you're one of the most inconsiderate people. But whatever that is, be true to that. If you're an inconsiderate person, I'm not even telling you to change. I'm telling you to be friends with inconsiderate people because at least y'all can be on the same shit together. At least y'all can be inconsiderate to one another. But don't be considerate. Don't be friends with a genuine person and be an inconsiderate person. Put the apples with the apples and the oranges with the oranges is all I'm asking you. You feel me? And on Twitter, on social media, it's been buzzing. Who should spend what? In a relationship, who should spend what? In friendships, who should spend what? If this happens, who should spend what? I don't give a fuck. Yep, I know that's hard to think. I don't give a fuck. We all have our personal opinion. You know what I would say? Find somebody who has a similar outlook as you. If you want to be with somebody who pays all the bills, who pays for this, who pays for that, find someone who wants to do that. If you want to be with somebody who's a partnership and y'all pay for things jointly, find someone who wants to do that. If you want to be in an 80-20 relationship where somebody does 80% of paying for stuff or doing stuff and you pay, so find somebody. Whatever you want in a relationship, find somebody who does that. Just don't try to find somebody and shape them into what you want them to be, is all as I ask. That's all I ask. I'm not here to judge other people and say, hey, you don't live life the way I live it. Hey, you should live life this way because this is how I think it. All I'm going to say is don't deceive other people and try to make them the person you want them to be. Take them for who they are. If you have someone who you want a significant other to pay all of the bills and stuff, and you end up being with somebody who wants a partnership, that may not work out. You trying to change this person to think differently just for your benefit is wrong, in my estimation. What'd be better is you find somebody who wants to pay for everything and they're like, they want to take care of their significant other. That way both of y'all are getting what y'all want. Life isn't always that simple though. And oftentimes we end up in situations with people who have a different outlook than us. So that's when compromise comes in. And you have to know what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not. But the thing that we do is we hop on social media and we say, you should live life the way I do. You should live life the way I do because this is the way I think and this is why, and we have facts and we have all types of things to back it up, but that does not mean other people are going to live life like you. Your opinion means something to you. It doesn't mean everything to everybody else. And frankly, in my life, I've reached a point of peace where I don't feel like I have to tell people how to live it. I'm just giving you my perspective, and whatever you do with it, good or bad, it's up to you. What I'll tell you is getting on Twitter fighting every day saying, no, this is the way you should live life. No, this person should pay for something. No, that person should pay for something. It's pointless. It's all about what you put your stake into. Me personally, I don't think about money a lot when it comes to being friends or certain like relationships with people because I make sure that I'm good for me. And that's just a personal thing I've always wanted in life. I've always wanted the autonomy to do what I wanted. So financially, I make sure I'm good enough that I can execute the things that I want to do in life. And I don't want that to be dependent on anyone else. That's my personal outlook. Am I going to fault someone for having a different outlook? No. You're just different than me. And maybe we can agree and disagree about some things to have a conversation. But do I think you're a horrible person for living life differently than I do? No. We all live different. It's not one set rules for how the way you live life. The one thing I say on this podcast all the time is even when you don't agree with somebody, you gain a perspective. So instead of hopping on social media and saying you should live life like me, just gain perspective and you can keep your natural opinion. It's cool. All of this telling people how to live life on social media, that's not my thing. That's not my thing. That's not what the Laboratory Podcast is about. Number 4 thing I'll talk about is a permission slip. Oh my God. Listen, bro. Listen. If you got to get a permission slip, don't kick it with me. You feel me? And like I said, that's my personal opinion. If you got to get a permission slip to hang out, if we can't kick it, like just, you feel me? You come through, we kick it, we hang out for as much time. If you need a permission slip to hang out, I don't want to hang out. I do not want to hang out. And I think more times than not I've seen at my young age is like people are very controlled in relationships. I've been around people where it's like they have to damn near ask to hang out. Put in the comment section right now, have you ever been around someone who had to ask a significant other could they hang out with their friends or something like that? That's just the craziest thing to me because I feel like I would want someone to hang out with me because they have the autonomy to and because they really want to. In relationships nowadays, it feels like people are controlling. And I'm not saying everyone. It's some demographic of people who are controlling and they make you have to do things. And I want someone to do it out the genuine kindness of their heart. I want my girlfriend, if you're watching this, shout out to you, baby. I want her to hang out with me because she wants to, not because she feels that she has to. But a lot of us, it's different, man. When you hanging out with your friend and they like, yeah, when y'all hang out, y'all might have a pivot. First y'all was going to Meyer, now y'all going to Applebee's, and you see them get on the phone and they like, yeah, hey, I know, yeah, we going to Applebee's. Can I go? Like, look, you can be friends with a lot of people, man. Just don't be friends with me. I'm into spontaneous things with my friends. I like to hang out. I like to be like, man, we was going here, but we about to go here. Fuck it. You feel me? And that permission slip shit, that shit is dead. If you feel like you gotta get a permission slip to be with somebody, that's an that's not where it's at. And for the people out here who feel like they controlling and they feel like they have to know their every move of their significant others, all I'm gonna say is your relationship might not be as genuine as you think. If somebody feels controlled and feel like they have to do something, a lot of times you stripping the love out of it. Because the love comes from somebody really wanting to do something nice for you, wanting to do things for you. Like, this episode gonna come out later, but like, I just bought board games for my girlfriend to play when she came over. I bought some of her favorite wine. I bought a lot of stuff to surprise her. And it's because I wanted to, but if I felt like I had to, I wouldn't do that. I don't think it would be as special if she demanded me to. If she said, this is what you have to do to be with me. Sometimes being controlling, even though it might make your benefit for you, you have to be willing to let somebody be their self while you're with them. And if you truly don't like the version of them that is themselves, you don't need to be with them. There's a lot of people being with people that they don't really like because they feel they have to, because it's beneficial, because it's some parts that's beneficial, or they just know that somebody will put up with something that most other people won't put up with. But that controlling people shit, that permission slip shit, if you got to get a permission slip to kick it, you can't kick it with me. You feel me? Number 5, I would say, man, live your life the way you want to live it. I just wanted this to be a reminder in the middle of the episode, man. Live your life the way that you want to live it. Like I said, there's a lot of people out here. They financial advisors, doctors, lawyers, and everything on social media. They go tell you everything that you think is wrong. They go tell, it's always going to be an opposing point of view. And that's just in life, and that's fine. And you can gain that perspective and still believe what you believe. But live your life the way you want to live it, man. Don't look for these people on social media. Don't look for anybody to solve your problems, to solve your issues for you. Live your life the way you want to live it, and live it to the fullest, because it could be over in a snap of a finger. If you've been from where I'm from in Detroit, we watched it. If you turn on the news, they'll tell you about a murder that happens every day, a homicide, or this or that. Or life could change in an instant, man. Live it the way you want to live it. If you living it for other people, you existing and you not living. And this is that part in the episode where I tell you to live and not exist, because that's what really matters at the end of life. And I'm not here to advise you on what to do to your life. I'm here to help you become more of yourself. That's all I'm here to do, is to remind you to be yourself at all times. Remember on Friday, protect yourself at all times, you feel me? Be yourself at all times. Be yourself. Because me or no one else has the knowledge to tell somebody, you can get a PhD, you can get all these degrees and all these accolades, you still don't have the right to tell someone how they should live their life. You don't have the right, or you don't have the autonomy to be able to do that. You can, but who are you? Who are you to tell somebody how to live their life? I'm just here to tell you to live your life as yourself, and not to live your life as the person that other people want you to be. Live your life as yourself, not as the person that other people want you to be, but the person who is truly in your heart. At the core of your being, be that person. Because that person is amazing. That's all I'm here to tell you. I hope it's amazing. You might be a bad person. That don't got nothing to do with Big Toe. You know what I'm saying? That don't got nothing to do with Big Toe. But I feel like when I hang out with people and they genuine, even if they weird or they a little quirky, or when I say weird, I'm not saying weird as in, oh, you like something I'm not interested in. I'm saying weird as in, maybe, yeah, it's like that. Like, maybe you like something I'm just not interested in. I think it's a bad connotation on weird, but maybe you're just a little bit different than me. I like hanging around those people. I don't like hanging around people where they get all their creativity from TikTok. I'm sorry to come at y'all, but damn, nigga. Some of y'all get all y'all creativity from TikTok. Y'all wouldn't be creative at all without TikTok, or at all without social. Man, ask yourself that question. Would you be able to be creative without social media? Some of y'all is so TikTok creative. Y'all see some shit on TikTok. Y'all replicate all day. And I ain't here to knock your lifestyle. I'm just saying that ain't Big Toe. Would you be able to be creative without social media? Ask yourself that, man. That's just off the dome. dome. You feel me? That's just off the dome. Number 6, reassurance. Tell the people that you love them. I say this on a lot of episodes. Tell the people that you love them. Because it's something. A lot of us put more time into these relationships that we just cultivated. We putting a lot of time into that. We just cultivated this relationship. We wanted to go well. Instead of telling the person that's been down for you for 10 years, hey, man, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for it's times that I needed you. It's times that I probably had you there and I didn't give you the response that you should have. I didn't give you the credit that you deserved at that moment, but I'm here to tell you today that I love you. To my girlfriend, I wasn't always the best boyfriend. It was the times I was back there working at Johnny Noodle King. I used to work at Johnny Noodle King, and I didn't really have that much money, man. I met my girlfriend. She loved me through that. She loved me through Johnny Noodle King. She loved me to stay for. She loved me to grad school. I love you. To my brother who's always held me down, Trey, I love you. To mom, to auntie, to all my people, I love you. To all my supporters who ever watch my podcast, I love you. Reassurance is important because it reinforces your love. It reinforces how much you care about that person. We go so far in relationships that we feel like it's not important to remind people how much they mean to us anymore, but it definitely is. I love all the people who supported me on my journey because it takes a village to get there, and I got one behind me. That's why I can sit here and I can get in front of this camera with the confidence because I know right after this, I could call my brother, I could call my girlfriend, I could call some of my friends and say, man, I just recorded episode 17. They're going to be so happy that I'm putting out something different. Reassure the people in your life. Tell them, I love you. Tell them, I ain't never told you this, but this is the way I feel about you. I ain't never told you this, but those times when you would sit on the phone and crack a joke with me when I was going through something really hard, I was going through life really hard, that shit just made me feel better in the moment. And I love that. And I used to smile every time I talked to you. Thank you for being there in my corner. Reassure the people who's always been there for you. Instead of sitting on social media telling people how they should live their life, reassure the people that's been in your life that's been supporting you since day one. That's what I say. Spend your time doing that. Because those people who are in your corner, if you don't treat them well enough, they might not be there for long. They might not be there for long. You can't text your bro. You can't text your sis. You can't text your best friend. You can't text your mom. You can't text your family. You love them. Take 2 seconds out the day. Tell somebody you love them. You know what I'm saying? How your social media determines how people perceive you. A lot of people say, man, don't judge me off my social media page. Listen. You have to accept the fact that anything you put out to the world, people may judge you by. Right or wrong. It might be totally wrong for somebody to judge you by your social media page, but if that's all they know you as, that's what they go judge you from. Take it from me and just learn to love yourself. Don't give a fuck about their judgment of you because people are going to judge you off everything. Some people judge you off looks. Some people judge you off what you say out of your mouth. I ain't going to lie though. There's a lot of people that if you get on social media and you say crazy shit out of your mouth every day, you tell people how to live your life, at some point people are going to make some assumptions about you. Now, whether they right or wrong, that's up to y'all and that's up to how you live your life. But what I will tell you is when you put out content, even if it's a picture and stuff, you just know that perceptions come with it. You just have to be bold enough to know that you're being the fullest version of yourself and that you're not going to care and let that define you. But I will say to the people who get on social media every day, and all y'all do is talk about other people and y'all give y'all opinions on everything, it's hard for somebody to look at that and not judge you. And I would be a hypocrite to say that I knew somebody in real life and saw their social media page and saw the type of shit they post on an everyday, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, and to say that it didn't change my perception of them. Because maybe I just knew you on an associate level, and now I'm looking at your Twitter, and you tweet every 20 minutes, and now I get to see how you think on an everyday basis. I'm like, oh, shit, this person different than I think. We've all done that before. But long as you know who you are, it don't matter how people perceive you. I will say it don't matter. It matters because it might affect how you think about yourself, but you can't let it do that if you really want to reach peace. Somebody could take a 15-second clip from this podcast and frame it in a way and put it out and make it look like I'm totally saying something terrible. And I know I take that risk every time I shoot this podcast. Somebody can take something I say, misconstrue the message, and put it out and make me look like a complete asshole up here. But even if they did that, it wouldn't define who I was. I'd get right back on this camera and tell y'all how I feel, tell y'all who I am. Because some people are going to be willing to listen. Some people just want a viral moment. Some people just want a clip. Some people are going to take a snapshot of your life and say that this determines who you will be forever. And you can't change those people's perceptions, but you can keep being who you are in your heart and make sure that you get along on your journey and that you do great stuff. And that's what's really important. That's what's really important at the end of the day. And then everything is a contradiction on social media, man. Just know that shit. Sometimes people feel this way. Sometimes people feel that way. Like I said, I don't really take it too serious. People feel this way one day. People feel that way one day. Sometimes people post something and they in support of somebody, and then 2 days later they like, this person's acting like a bitch. Sometimes people are like, people should have emotions. Next thing you know, people are saying people are acting like this or like that, or they soft, or they this, or they that. Like, people contradict themselves on social. If you go through anyone's retweets, like anybody's retweets, you will see one post that supports this side of this, and then you will see another retweet that supports the complete opposite opinion. And both opinions can exist. They can, but you can't feel this one this strongly if you feel this one this strongly. And it makes completely no sense. But at that point where you find yourself going through somebody retweets, wonder, what the fuck am I doing with my life that I'm really sitting here going through somebody retweets when I could be doing something that's going to sustain my greatness. And greatness awaits. Bring greatness closer to me and become more of the best version of myself. And I could be living and not existing. I'm existing on this app, but I'm not living in real life. There's a lot of people who existing on the app, but they don't live in real life. They don't live through what goes wrong every day. They don't live through they don't live through good times. They don't live through bad times, but they exist on a social media platform. And they existing in life, but they not living. If you find yourself going through everybody's tweets and you gotta argue with everybody, you may be existing and you might not be living enough. You see, your boy. You see how I'm bringing it back around. We back to the essence of the laboratory part. Y'all know when this shirt come on, it's the business. Y'all already know what's about to happen. Y'all already know it's Big Toe in this bitch. I was about to start freestyling. I'm not gonna freestyle. I promise. But I really cut up though. Like if you ever heard me rap, I'm really like that. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I put bars together. I put words together there. I'm not gonna get into that. Maybe never mind. Anyway, forgiveness. Hey, man, just because you forgive somebody don't mean you gotta fuck with them. Let me say that one more time. Just because you forgive somebody don't mean you gotta fuck with them. Just because you forgive them don't mean y'all got to resume your relationship as if nothing ever happened. You're forgiving somebody so that you can get that hate off of your heart, not so they can be a part of your life again. That is not why you're forgiving somebody. So if you forgave somebody and they tell you, well, how you forgive me, you don't fuck with me no more. It's because I don't have to fuck with you to forgive you. I can forgive that you did something that wronged me. It made me feel a type of way. And I can forgive you for that and say, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. This person did that, but I'm not going to harbor hate for them. I'm going to forgive them for that. But that does not mean I have to forget and be your friend again. That's not what that means. And oftentimes people misconstrue forgiveness that way. And they say, yeah, to forgive, you got to let go and you got to be able to look that person in the face. You don't have to fuck with that person no more. You don't have no obligation to have to fuck with that person no more if you don't want to. You don't. You forgive them. You don't got to forget, and you damn sure don't have to be their friend anymore. You don't have to. And I know I'm somebody, you probably ain't heard this in a while, but you don't have to, man. You don't have to forgive them. You forgive them for you. You forgive them for your peace. You forgive them for tranquility. You forgive them so you can go through life with an open heart. So you don't let the things that they've done dictate or put a stranglehold on your heart and make you unable to love and unable to trust in life. That's why you forgive somebody. You're not forgiving them so y'all can be friends again. You don't have to be friends with somebody. Let me say this one more time. You do not have to be friends with somebody again because you forgave them. And if you think, oh, you forgave me, and you're not my friend no more, so you really didn't forgive me, That's some bullshit. Just because you forgive somebody, it doesn't mean you got to be in communication with them. It doesn't mean you have to like them no more. It doesn't mean y'all got to go out to dinner. It doesn't mean y'all got to hit the club. It doesn't mean y'all have to resume the relationship as if it was before whatever happened that caused you to take a step back, and then you have to forgive them for that. You don't have to resume the relationship in that exact same way. You can forgive them and put distance between y'all, and that is completely fine because you are forgiving them for them and not for you are forgiving them for you and not for them. Just know that. Community immunity. I'm not going to say too much about this, but what I would say is don't think just because you're a part of a community, it grants you certain access to say things or do hateful things in life. I've seen a lot of people on social media lately where they feel like they're a part of a community, so they get the right to say something. They get a right to say slurs. They get a right to say things that offend people just because they feel like they're a part of that community too. And community immunity does not exist. I want you to know that. Just because you're black doesn't mean you get to say oppressive things to black people and we don't get to address it. Just because you might be a part of LGBTQ plus doesn't mean that you get to say things that are offensive to that community just because you are in it. Just because you from Detroit don't mean I'm just but you get what I'm saying. Just because you are part of a certain community doesn't mean that you get to say things that are offensive towards other people in that community. Because you could be a part of a community and have hate for it, have prejudice for that community. And what I would say is, don't think that you immune or you got some type of immunity or that people can't step to you because you over here saying bullshit about people that's a part of a community that you so-called so much about. Because if you were so much in that community, you wouldn't be saying those things and you wouldn't be acting that way. So don't think just because you deem yourself as a part of something that you can't be checked behind it because you from Detroit, so nobody can tell you nothing. Who else from Detroit? You black, so nobody can tell you when you saying offensive stuff to black people or you coming at a certain audience of people. Nobody can tell you nothing. The people with that ideology, you already moving through life the wrong way. Just because you a part don't mean you're an expert, but you don't have to go out here and make offensive comments towards people just because you feel like you're a part of a certain community. And I would say a lot of people are prioritizing ego over growth. Man, I saw a clip, my man's Kevin Hart. He was talking that shit. Don't let your ego stop you from being able to grow. I ain't gonna go into it too much, but don't let your ego stop you from being able to grow. Don't let your ego stop you from being able to collab and learn something from somebody. Be able to learn something from somebody. Don't ever reach a point in life where you think, I can't learn something from somebody. And if it's truly people around you that you feel like you can't learn anything from, you need to try to find other people that you can. And that's what stage I'm in. It's not that I can't learn anything from my friends, but I feel like it's time for me to expand and get around more people that I can learn some stuff from. And that's okay in life. It doesn't mean that I got to stop being these people friends. It just means that I need to expand my horizons. But don't allow your ego and the fact of I'm that nigga, I'm this, I'm that to stop you from being able to sit down and learn and listen to somebody's perspective. You can be confident in yourself without being narcissistic, without being someone who can't learn something. Because if you confident in yourself, you should be confident in your ability to listen and learn as well. Let me say that one more time. If you're confident in yourself, you should be confident in your ability to listen and learn as well. You don't have to trick yourself as to being a narcissist to be confident. You can still consider other people. You can still want to grow. And you can still put your ego in the back. You feel me? Sometimes you got to shove your ego in the back. Get the fuck back there so I can learn something real quick. Sometimes you hear that voice creeping back in the back of your head like, I'm that nigga. How dare you tell me what? And then you got to put that person in check and say, hey, this is an opportunity to learn something. I gotta put that ego back real quick because this is an opportunity to learn something. And I'm passing it up. If I'm this, how dare you be able to tell me anything in the front of my mind is blocking me from opportunity. And I got a place I'm trying to get and I need to get there. And if I keep allowing it to block me from opportunity, I won't ever get there. If I keep letting my ego block my growth, if I keep caring about attention over impact and not impact over attention, I'm not going to get nowhere. And you got to keep that ego in check because sometimes it rears its ugly head at the wrong time when it's a time for you to learn something. Your ego pops out, you get defensive, and then before you know it, you missed the lesson that was dropped before you that day where you could have learned something and not only learned it, applied it, and gave it to somebody else. You missed that opportunity because your ego jumped in and you didn't tell it to get back and so you could have the opportunity to learn something. So, Just think. And then I said, cultivate relationships with greatness. Get around some people. I'm not saying y'all gotta be best friends. When you see somebody doing something great, I'm not saying you're trying to leech off of them or anything, but surround yourself by people who are doing something, who trying to be great in life, because it's gonna help you get there. You feel me? Episode 17, greatness awaits. I'm so excited about this podcast, man. It's like every week we breathe new life into this. A lot of people didn't watch the last episode, so if you made it to the end, do me a favor, click on that last episode, tune into it. I love y'all, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for supporting me. You feel me? I want to talk to more of y'all. I know some of y'all watch my podcast, but we might not talk a lot, but I would love if we could have some conversations. You feel me? You could be everything in the world, but you can't be Big Toe. It's your boy Big Toe, and I'm out. Continue living, not existing. Peace.